are your wing pairings with Danty and Gael Ficou, a familiar face in World Rugby, as your center pairing. Thomas Ramos is your fullback for France. The South African side, Anis?
Well, it's today we've got the front row players were subs last week, so it's Oxenchair, Hongyo Munambi, and Frans van Halbe. Eben Etzebeth and Franco Mostert are your at 4 and 5. Sia Kolisi, captain Peter Stiff, Dutoy, and Kwagga Smith make up your loose trio. Faf de Klerk starting this week. Damian Willems at 10 retains his spot. Kurtley Arendse in place of Makazola Mapimpi at 11. Damian Dalende and Jesse Creel unchanged centre pairing. Cheslin Colby moves to 14, and Billy Leroux is starting today at fullback.
Yeah, just a couple of injury concerns with the Springboks. Yeah, Franco Mostert is coming in at 5 today. I mean, there's no shortage of experience. There's 61 caps today. But it is that injury to Lut Jocher that keeps him out. And then the injury, the failed concussion test for Jasper Wiese, Moustache Maestro that he is, means that Kwagga Smith starts and Dion Fourie comes on to the South African bench. So an interesting, an interesting play for the South Africans. But Anis, you and I were part of the SAA Munster commentary earlier in the week, and it just left a lot to be desired from the SAA side. Hopefully they can kind of put that out of their mind, the full strength squad, and go out here and perform.
Yeah. Look, the SAA squad just didn't have any teeth in attack. And like we were saying on commentary, if you have they had a potent backline. However, they just didn't get used. And this week's the full strength team, the full team's backline is just as potent. And coming off of and if you look at the bench strength of that backline, Kobus Reinach, Manuel BOKKE, and Makazola Mapimpi on the bench, that's super potent. So they need to do something to activate this backline that has the skill to run any team to pieces. Just will they do it? Or does South Africa have a game plan that allows that?
Yeah, we've got to not play our cards too early, but also at the same time, you want to see where you're able to test things out. You might imagine, Anis, that South Africa would test a couple of outside faces against Italy, because it's probably the easier, with all due respect to the Italians, probably the easier of the games on this tour. But Manie Libbok, you touched on him. He's making his debut today, DHL Stormers fly half. Surprisingly that they've continued with Damian Willems at 10. I would have thought that would have been better for him to be at 15 and Libbok to get the start with Leroux on the bench. But nevertheless, the South African coaching squad deciding that was the right decision for them. So I'm, have faith until proven otherwise, I suppose, with these two sides.
It's interesting though. South Africa's going into this game again without a out and out place kicker. So if this gets tight, it's gonna come, and it might get tight. We were talking about predictions earlier off air, and you said South Africa by 2. That's a penalty. So one missed, and it's France by 1.
Sure. You know, it's an interesting route that we've looked at with both of these sides. It's a massive game to follow up with last week's massive game. But if you look at where the bookies were saying before this game, it's France by I think 3, and then Rugby Algorithm had it the box by I want to say 2, and that's kind of where I've gone. But that takes the most recent encounter. The most recent encounters between the two sides, which is 5-0 to the Springboks. But this is a to say world-class French side is an understatement. Nevertheless, Wayne Barnes is your referee for today. He's assisted by Carl Dixon and Christoph Ridley, and nearly an all-English refereeing team, but for Brian McNeice behind the television from Ireland today. France will be playing right to left in their traditional blue, and their counterparts in green and gold, South Africa, the wonderful Springboks. Carl Dixon was the man with the whistle in the game at Parc Equive on Thursday night, and so he will be back again for this game. And Tamak kicks it high into the air, and it's a good take there from Kwagga Smith. It's a good line here from the Springboks just to see how we get underway with this game. Hard work there at the ruck time from Aldrit, but Faf de Klerk will be the man that gets things underway for today. High hanging kick there from the back of the ruck, and it's not going to go out. It's going to be Ramos who's going to make his way upfield, runs over Cheslin Colby, and only for a tackle by Siokolisi does that play get held up. Forwards wrestling early on here. This is going to be an encounter for the forwards. It's something that Anis spoke about. Dante in midfield with the ball. He's brought down, and Peter Steph du Toit is having to do the work there. Great bit of work. Oh, I thought it was great bit of work there from Faf de Klerk. Coming in the wrong side, and referee Wayne Barnes blows his whistle and says, no, son, you can't come in from the side. 1 minute gone, and it's still scoreless.
Yes. Just got a bit too excited there. Did Faf. He saw the ball and went for it. Just missing his timing on that run. Half a second later, and the ball was out. And as we see a replay of Cheslin Colby being run over, but he did what he had to do to slow the momentum down, bringing in Siokolisi. That is interesting. We see on the replay that the ball was out, and the French scrum off was about to pass when Faf de Klerk came around and got him. So that's a marginal call, and it's a marginal call early in the game. Is it going to set the tone?
Well, it's close between the northern and southern hemisphere at the moment. It's not one-sided as it may have been in the past. And you're right, it could be the difference. And it may seem insignificant early on here with only 2 minutes on the clock. But boy, oh boy, could that mean the difference. Ramos is going to go for the 3 points. And he steps up now, kicks it. And Villiers Leroux sits down on the cameraman so we don't see it. Eventually it
goes over.
The flags go up. So 3 points to 0 to France, and the French flags are waving with reckless abandon. It's good to see a sold-out crowd here at Stade Velodrome, and the Springboks will have the kickoff there. I see they're trying to be innovative, but maybe you've got to move a little bit to one side of the fullback sitting on top of your lens. Good catch. Yeah. Oh, no, I spoke too soon. A penalty advantage for the Springboks. Knock on. Faf de Klerk inside the French 22. Peter Steph du Toit hands it off to Delende. Delende thinks about the cross kick, but doesn't go for it. Villiers Leroux joins the line and is supported by Peter Steph du Toit. And now there's an advantage for the French because of the Springbok knock on at the back of the ruck. Now, about 19 men at the back of the ruck.
It's a long game.
It looks like a horror movie there. Eventually, Dupont gets out the back of it and thumps this one into touch. So that was a wasted opportunity for the Springboks. They had the penalty advantage and just poor from them. A good chase for the kickoff, but yeah, not great there from South Africa's fullback.
And the ball got wrestled away from him before the human centipede was formed. And then France took full advantage. South Africa, the forwards now having a huge pep talk. Siokolisi trying to G them up.
Wilna, Olwage, maybe something like that too. Nevertheless, she's saying, can't wait, BOKKE, make us proud, please. Etzebeth with the catch, 4 minutes gone. Arendse out the back. I don't know where he came from, but he found his way into the line out there. De Klerk, and it's a knock-on by the Springboks. A couple of handling errors, and the moment it comes out, the referee says, slow down, son. Nobody more experienced than these. Probably nobody more experienced in world rugby in terms of refereeing than Wayne Barnes. I think he's just a world-class referee.
Like even we're seeing replays of that line out and the jumping and stuff. And even Etzebeth was at the back of the back of that, was so confused that Arendse was in front of him.
He's almost like, go away.
He didn't practice.
What are you doing here, tiny man?
Yeah, he nearly pushed him. You're not the right small man.
Yeah, I'm looking for the blondie.
Where's the long blonde hair?
Right. Scrum time now.
First scrum
of
the game.
Yeah, absolutely. 278 caps in the back for South Africa, 447. Let's see the experience here for the Springboks in this scrum. Massive push here from the men in green and gold. Dupont at the back and goes to Ramos. Ramos out wide to Penaud. Penaud chips and goes, but he's cut off by Villileroux, who nearly steps in touch. No, he doesn't. Nice. Good work to keep in there. Peter Steff with support there from some Springboks there. Lifted there was Ibn Etzebeth, but they put him down very gingerly. Villileroux has Kolisi ducking, rather Malharba ducking. Cross kick now from Willemse. Cheslin Colby, does he get on the end of it? No, he doesn't. He's stifled by Mofena. Now the French are storming up the left-hand touchline. Are they going to get anywhere with Ntamaka? No, he's been chucked out, and so it'll be a South African throw just inside their own 22. Wow, this is fast-paced rugby. That was 3-0 to France, 6 minutes gone.
Yeah, going for the X Factor play early there was Villileroux. Nearly came off. If it came off, it would have been fantastic. Also, fantastic awareness of where he was. Not stepping into touch. It was really tight on that touchline. Oh, Cheslin Colby just had to get hold of it and it was gone.
Short one by the Springboks. It goes quickly away. Damian Willemse in his own 22 and hoofs this downfield. Is it going to go out? Oh, yes, it will go down. Great kick there. Nearly 40 meters with that kick inside his own 22, probably halfway. It's about 11 meters. And he's kicked it over the 10-meter line in the French half. The French can just, you talk about French flair, Anis, but boy, oh boy, did Ntamak show some skills there.
Oh, yeah. No, that was it. The run was amazing. Really, really, really lit up this game. South Africa need to keep an eye on that.
Marchand with his first throw of the game. Will it be straight? Referee's clamping down on it. No trouble there. Smashed away by Ntamak into the hands of Cheslin Colby, and now he's got a space to run at the French. Goose steps and off he goes. Nearly makes it up to the halfway line. Faf de Klerk to Villileroux, who nearly drops it. Chips kick out to Jesse Creel on the wide, and I think he's knocked that on into touch. Has he? There's an opportunity for the French to take it quickly, but with Kurtley Arendse there, boy, are we seeing both sides produce flair that is worth watering your eyes for.
We were saying we wanted to see the South African backline go for it, and it seems like they're getting the opportunities in this game so far. Well, 7 minutes in, they're still fresh.
Absolutely, I think the linchpin here.
Interesting.
Yeah, go for it.
It's interesting that the backline's looking for work. You see Kurtley Arendse coming at the back of a ruck at the end of a line out. Well. Villileroux standing, just coming up and rushing up to the line, being first or second receiver. This is going to be a high octane game if the backs keep getting the ball.
Fans keeping themselves entertained at this incredible stadium. And just a Mexican wave going around the park as we see Cyril Baillet getting some treatment on his left thigh, maybe trying to be held together like your poorly wrapped Christmas presents later this year. Just shy of 8 minutes on the clock. South Africa trail 3 points, 2-0. It was a early penalty that was easily slotted by Thomas Ramos or Rameau. You'll have to correct me at Coach Dave 93. Karen Lynn Freeman saying, shine up, BOKKE. And Raymond Janse van Rensburg says, kom, BOKKE, kom. You are the third commentator. And if you want to join our commentary team, admin at onewsr.com. If you want to support us on Patreon, please do. Patreon.com/oneworldsr. We appreciate every single moment of this. And we want to get to the games. So this is how we do it, is through your support. Set is the call from Wayne Barnes. Feed now from Dupont. And away he goes from the back. Just hangs out there for Ntamak to launch this one downfield, but a simple catch for Kurtley Arendse. Away he goes through the middle of the field and is immediately swarmed by supporting green men. Penalty advantage for the Boks. What do they do with it? Villileroux, cross kick. This cross kick is looking for something. It's a chip kick, rather, over the defense, and it'll come back for the initial infringement by the French. I understand that we're trying something on attack when we have a penalty advantage. I wonder what Villy's thoughts are by joining the line every time. I don't know if that's utterly necessary.
It's the
every
third time now. Third time now, he's gotten it and he's gone for that chip kick to the wing. Is he going to keep trying it until it comes off? Because if that now is not the time to be on the training field. This should have been practiced over and over again. I'm just worried about the amount of handling errors coming from the Springboks this far. The French just laying all over that ball, trying to play it on the ground, is what they were penalized for, not rolling away. Attacking line out now for the Springboks.
Right, Mbonambi with the throw. He doesn't find his marker, and the French turn the ball over here. Now it's a bit of get out of jail work here for the French. They're having to do some extra work there from Aldrit, and then the human centipede forms once again as Dupont tries to dig this out of what looks to be a 5-man ruck, but vertically, not in a pile, so to speak. This one is thumped downfield. Arendse keeps it in touch, and now he gets the throw, and it misses Willie Leroux and has to be picked up by Kwagga Smith. He gets over halfway, right on the center spot, and he may as well kick off again. To de Klerk, to Leroux, and then Willemse makes his way over the halfway line. De Klerk again to Leroux, who finds himself in space. Now the South Africans with a bit of juggling, but a good bit of work there from Etzebeth, who gets up and makes his way forward with support from the backs in that ruck. Mbonambi now in support here. Leroux again in the line. Peter Steph du Toit. That looks like a slightly high tackle there by Gail Fiku. Referee's not interested in it, and play continues. This one goes out wide, and Cheslin Colby cuts back inside. He's not interested in running out of space on the far side, the near side touchline. Cuts inside and is broken up in play halfway. There's a head injury coming at the bottom of that one. Leroux again in the mix, and he sends this to Etzebeth. Now de Klerk having to work his way in the middle of things there. Once again, is Kwagga Smith involved now this time, but it's not coming out easily, and there's nobody at home to pick it up at the back because Faf is at the bottom of the ruck. Oxenchair picks and goes and finds himself isolated, but the French will now get a penalty for the infringement there by the South Africans, but there's an injury here to Jonathan Danty.
Oh, they're gonna go upstairs probably and look at it. This reminds me of, I think you got a bit of a thumb in the eye.
Maybe a thumb in the eye or a knee on the ground. It's going to be interesting to see.
Ooh!
Is that Peter Steph just headbutting him there in the ruck? Yeah, he's given him a bit of a top corner there from the back post, to use a football parlance. No. This is not looking great for Peter Steph. No. Whilst the TMO decides this with our resident referee for the day, Wayne Barnes, you can follow us on Twitter at OneWorldSR. The commentators are also on Twitter at Anis Moha, at Ozmaster, and at Coach Dave 93. If you want to support us on Patreon, it is patreon.com/OneWorldSR. If you want to become part of the commentary team, like we are here seeing our wonderful faces, admin at onewsr.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just Anis, talk us through what's happened here. Cheslin Colby is knocked down, is tackled.
Yeah, both the two Springboks that came in, and one of them is Peter Steph, and I think Peter Steph is going to be in trouble because he led with his head, no arms in clearing him out, and it was head-to-head contact. So I think there's going to be a card here.
Yeah, Wayne Barnes doesn't look happy. I think he's maybe just going through the tick box.
Whatever he does, whatever he did, it's going to be a card. Yep, red.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's unsurprising. Yeah. It really is unsurprising with the move like that. There's very little that World Rugby can do when it comes to that. Maybe there's some mitigating factors that we've not seen here, but in the rush of things, South Africa down to 14 men, and Peter Steph sheepishly field.
He was gonna go off anyway. If he went in with his arms, it probably would have hit him above the collarbone, so it would have been high, but he just hit him with the head instead. So has to be red. Got him high in the face. So any contact to the head is normally a red card. Pieter-Steph du Toit is distraught. As France clear the line, the box down. They don't clear.
Right, missing back in touch. Play. Here we go. Kicked away from the Springboks down the middle of the park, and it's deep into French territory. On the 5-meter line, picked up nicely, and this one will be thumped into touch from that. So just to have an update for us, the French inside center, Jonathan Danty, will be going off for an HIA, and Seko Makalu will come on in his place for the meantime. And when we see Jonathan Danty back on the park, we will let you know. But Pieter-Steph, as much as he's distraught and as much as he was consoled by Dion Fourie, it's not going to work. This time, Bonambi finds his marker in Etzebeth, and he's taken us through the next 10.
Ball at the back now with Bongi Bonambi. The ball is going nowhere as Faf de Klerk now gets it to Damien Delaney, who drives up. And now he comes to the short side, which is the near side to us, and again brought down. As Franco Mostert coming in at pace. Ball is turned over by France. It's put up into the air, and there is a challenge. However, France retained possession and booted downfield, and it is going to be in touch just outside the South African 22 with South Africa's throw-in with South Africa's ball at the throw-in. Bit of scrambled and scrappy play there. Ball just moving left and right, back and forth. It's really hard to keep up.
Yeah, both sides looking to kind of stretch their proverbial legs when it comes to their back line. And so we'll be interested to see how the next phase goes. Bonambi with the throw.
Bonambi now as... Who's that number? Number 5, sorry. Franco Mostert
is the receiver.
Yeah, as the ball is now being mauled up by the box, just taking a walk and going forward like the flying V from the Mighty Ducks. The French coming in from the side, a penalty advantage to the Springboks. Faf de Klerk gets it now, presents it to Willie Leroux at first receiver, to Damien Willemse, and it's gone to the wing where Arendse is having a run and taken around the throat, missed the referee. And now advantage over, or second penalty advantage. Arendse now gets it again, and the referee has finally brought stop to proceedings, and it's going to be.
Well, he hasn't really indicated, but it shows how important this game is. And an Englishman says the most Englishman. I'm sure, gentlemen, please. This is a rugby field, not a boxing match. See, this is why I always liked. What's the Welshman's name?
Paddy O'Brien. Oh no, sorry.
No, that's the Irishman. The Welshman from referee. It's gonna drive me insane.
Nigel Owens.
Nigel Owens, always with a witty comment. Witty comment.
I don't need you to tell me how to ref the game.
Yes.
As Faf de Klerk now boots this one deep into French territory, and it will be a South African line out on the French, just outside the French 22. So we've come back 50 meters, and we are now the exact same position, but in French territory as we were earlier on. Can South Africa hold this one together and not make it? It will be their first visit to the French 22, I think, as they jump up now. And it's again scrappy ball and the poor line out. And the French have possession. And they clear their line and hoof it downfield, where Cheslin Colby now in space has a dart up the middle and is brought down. Siyakolisi in support. Faf de Klerk has to punch the ball on the ground to Frans van Herbe. As the French turn over the ball. The turnover is good, says the referee. Fantastic tackling by the box. But now there's a gap in midfield. And the French are coming at pace. They're just running through. There's a knock-on, unfortunately, coming down the tram line. A bit of a knock-on from the French fullback, and it is going to be scrum down to South Africa just inside their 22.
Kobus Leer saying, red! Rugby's becoming just as bad as the cricket, and there's some agreeing faces. Boy, oh boy. This is poor from the Springboks at the line-out, which is normally a strength for them, Anis.
Yeah, second attacking line-out that it had to be. The French playing perfect spoiling rugby at the breakdown. Fantastic turnover that they got there. And scrambling in defense, running ragged. Running the South Africans ragged, rather.
Yeah, it's going to be a bruising encounter for both sides. Yeah, just some treatment. We're not ignoring the game. Elena Valente says, agree, Kobus. And Volna Olvacha says, oh no, please not a red card. And unfortunately, it was a red. Seeing some tape being put on the pinky of Antoine Dupont, French captain. And it'll be
a penalty to France.
Yeah, it'll be 3 points on offer here for holding on.
Yeah, the penalty was given for holding on at the breakdown by the Boks.
South Africa could be 6 points away, adrift here, so to speak, within the first 20 minutes of the game. How much do you think that's going to impact this game with 14 men on the field?
With 14 men, it just changed all the permutations, and I think that the Springboks are going to struggle from here unless they start keeping ball in hand and try to limit the handling errors and the small mistakes that have been keeping up in this game so far. As we await Damian Willemse to restart, the score is 6-0 to France. Damian Willemse starts deep up the center of the French 22, and a run now brought down. The French number 8 brought down. The ball is slowed down. They are not, and now they are implementing slowly but surely the human centipede. A 4-man centipede this time. As France clear the ball out of their 22, and it will be a South African lineout just over halfway in the South African half. This human centipede thing is working, because it gives you a couple of extra meters of last feet. And
just that extra second in terms of the box kick, it just takes it off,
So that's actually something very clever from France that's being implemented. It's the first time I'm seeing it in a game. As South Africa, the throw-in again, messy ball, and France turn it over again. And they have no problem running at the Springboks. And I think there's an advantage being called by the referee. No, France clear their line, and they put this one up in the air, and it is going to come down into the hands of Willie Leroux, who calls a mark, and just trying to bring some semblance of calm to this frenetic pace. South Africa have not been inside the French 22 once, as Willie Leroux takes a tap and passes it to Willemse, who clears the line. And it will be a lineup just over, I think, we'll have to see.
Meter line?
But it will be just over the French 10-meter line?
No, this is poor from the Springboks. Both Morsmith and Kwagga Smith have been dispossessed against their head. And we saw some stats there on screen that South Africa had made more meters, which is frustrating because, South Africa is 6 points behind there. Blaine Ty said Peter Steph du Toit deserved that.
Oof. The French break the South African line now. They've got space on the outside, and there's an overlap, but fantastic tackling by Arendse, who's come around from the other wing and has pulled off the tackle. The French bringing it back to midfield now, and they're going to rumble forward with their forwards, and they are 5 meters out as the forwards are having fantastic interplay. The ball is now spread down the middle, barging over, just over the 5-meter line, 4 meters away from the line of France. Keeping it tight near the fringes, and they're coming around. Quick ball, and the South African line is holding for the moment. penalty advantage to France for offside. South Africa rushing up too fast. And the French are over. Just. Will they call
that's a
ball hit out? And no, they're claiming the try. Fantastic move. The French
try awarded.
Barging and barging. Try awarded. 11-0 to France.
20 minutes gone here in Marseille. Bonne nuit, bonjour. So it's 11 points to France now, with a kick to come. 11
Welcome, Otto.
points en français. Afrique du Sud, 0 points. 21 minutes. Première half. No, I don't know. No, that's about where it ends. Yeah.
I'll try to. I'll before I go, I'll try to learn a very serious team talk taking place here by this from Siya Kolisi to his troopers. South Africa 11-0 down. They have to find something. Have not been into the French 22 once in this game so far.
Thomas Ramos with the conversion kick. Lines it up, strikes it with the right foot, sails it through the posts. Beautiful kick there. And it will be 13-0. 13 points à 0 points for Afrique du Sud. Yeah. So we've got nothing. The French have 13 points. And there's 22 minutes gone in the first half. Kickoff by the Springboks. Going to the near side of the field. Playing left to right on our screens. A little bit of a fumble there by the number 8 for France. Collected by Eben Etzebeth. And France secure the ball just about 15, 16 meters out from their own try line. Dupont with the pass out. Big pressure on the French backline. But the kick is sent down the far side touchline by the number 13 for France, and the lineout will be set up just inside the French half. Good play there by the French number 13. I apologize, I do not have the team sheets. I will rely on my co-commentators to give me some names here.
Ficao. Ficao.
Ah, oui. D'accord. Oui. Très bien. So it's Bongi Mbonambi on the far side touchline. Just inside the French half, the Springboks set the maul. The maul is driven back a little bit by France, but the Springboks trying to set it up again, trying to move forward. And the Springboks managed to do so. The referee warns, use it once. And the Springbok maul now gaining momentum up to the 10-meter line of France. The ball is ripped out by France, and it's a penalty to South Africa for infringements there by the French in that maul, and that is good forward play by the 7 forwards that remain on the field. If you've just joined us, where the hell have you been? Pieter-Steph du Toit with a red card. So there's 14 men on the field right now for South Africa. I think they've got another 15 or 16 minutes to go with that red card.
A red card permanent.
Agathe O'Callaghan on Facebook says Le Bleu. Yes, Le Green, Le Springbok. Ja, asseblief. So Cheslin Colby is going to line up this kick on the far side touchline. We see some replays here on the screen now.
Just have a check. Cheslin Colby passing too low, so he'll be quite advanced. Have quite a lot of knowledge about playing in Marseille.
Exactly.
Can he get it from
he was Europe's Player of the Year for like 5 years in a row or something. Yeah. So he's going to line it up. But Etzebeth getting some attention there. Cheslin Colby lining this up. He's got his scrum cap off. He's got the game face on. He's looking at the poles, looking down at the ball. He's lining it up now. Staring intently at the ball. You cannot tackle a penalty kick, Cheslin. Send it through. Your nation is counting on you tonight. 54 meters, says the the graphics on the screen here. Cheslin Kolbe is calming himself down. He steps forward now, strikes it with the right foot. The ball curls from the right hand upright, curls through the posts. That's South Africa on the board. It's 13 points to 3, and that is Cheslin Kolbe's. Oh man, that was a beautiful kick. A bit of stress as he struck it. The ball went to the right hand upright, looked like it would strike the right hand upright, and then just curled in beautifully. So France through Intermark will kick off. The number 10 will kick off from right to left on our screens, and the ball comes down just inside the 22, 15 meters from the near side touchline, knocked forward by the Springboks. France send it to the middle of the park. It's in the hands of one of the backline players who gets monstered by the Springbok defense, but France have possession in the middle of the park now, about 10 meters out from the Springbok 22. As beautiful pickup there by Eben Etzebeth. If you're not going to use it, I will. So Springboks now in possession on the 10-meter line, on their own 10-meter line. The ruck is set. The ball comes to the near side of the park, to the middle of the park. Bongi Mbonambi puts his knee down. The referee says it's a tackle. Now the ball comes to the near side, outside the 22 of South Africa. And Kurtley Arendse gets the ball on the near side touchline, goes through one tackle. Faf de Klerk once again sends it to the middle now. Frans Malherbe up to the halfway line. The Springboks building very nicely. Jesse Kriel steps through one, steps almost through the second. Faf de Klerk with the ball now. Eben Etzebeth over the halfway line. The Boks go. Faf de Klerk back into their own half. Go the Springboks with the backline move and some stepping and dancing there by Damian Willemse gets them back onto the halfway line. It's Cheslin Kolbe that sets up the ruck just inside the Springbok half, 20 meters from the near side touchline. The Springboks making that human centipede, as it's now been called by Coach Dave. No, says Faf de Klerk. He sends it out to Frans Malherbe, rumbling it up to the halfway line. The French players are staying out of the ruck. The Springboks are heavily present there. Faf de Klerk is going to box kick this one. No, says the referee, offside. And that's a penalty to the Springboks on the halfway line. Are they going to send this one into the posts? It's 13 points to 3. There's 12 minutes to go in the first half. Faf de Klerk now has the ball. And it seems that the Springboks are really showing off that anybody can be a kicker in this team. And that's a very nice bit of play there by the back line and the forwards. Cheslin Kolbe almost slipping out of a tackle there as we see the replay. And now it will be a line out to South Africa on the near side touchline with about 11 minutes to go in the first half. The score is 13 points to 3. And just to remind you, Zelda Salome, Charles Pretoria says, hallo vanuit Kiwiland, luister lekker, dankie julle, way to go Cheslin. Hey, lekker to hear from you, wherever you are. Nee, ons het nou 'n Springbok lyn staan hierso, en hulle is 6 meter van die Franse se doellyn, en die Springbokke kry die maalbeweging aan die gang. Hulle is oor die 5 meter lyn. They're over the 5 meter line. They got the backs piling in here, and the Springboks have the penalty advantage. And Siya Kolisi goes over the line. He gets it down over the line.
Oh, yes.
Siya Kolisi, just to the right of the right hand upright. And the Boks are going to get 5 points here. The maul was set. The French were at 6s and 7s. The Springboks just kept pressing the line out, and then Siya Kolisi just picks it up and falls over the line. Easiest try he's ever going to score, and that was just beautiful by the Springboks. The French behind their poles where they belong. 13 points to 8 now. The French lead. Siya Kolisi has a a look of absolute relief on his face. That was exactly what the doctor ordered.
Took them 26 minutes to get going, but they finally got going. My fantastic try by Siya Kolisi, just changing the momentum of the game. 10 minutes, 14-man Springbok squad coming back really hard. It's a bone of contention for me. If Billy Leroux is going to be first receiver, he should be playing fly off and not full back. And Willemse just seems to be nowhere near the first receiver role. So has he dropped back to, is he fullback in everything but name? And so yeah, it's just a bone of contention, but a fantastic try from the Springboks as the French number 19 has come on, and that is a Mr. Tau Fifenua. Romain Tau Fifenua. Yes.
So the French with a kickoff and Mr. Mohammed taking us through to halftime.
Into the South African territory, and it is dropped straight away by who is that?
BOKKE Smith.
BOKKE Smith. Oh, that was unfortunate. Into the breadbasket, just went straight down. Unfortunately, my stream hasn't hit that HD level yet. I could not tell it was BOKKE Smith from his very distinct nose. I got him confused.
His lack of nose. His distinct lack of nose.
Yeah. I got him confused with Franco Mostert there for a second as France bring in another change. And that is number 17.
Meanwhile, Zelda says, Kolisi jou doring. Mooi. Thank you, Zelda. And
French prop walking off as he's got a bit of tummy problems.
Helene Valente. How do you say her name? Eliane. She says, now Rassie in heaven. There you go.
French have an attacking scrum about 7 meters out from the South African try line. Engage is called. Ball is in. And a very static scrum. The French holding their own. The box starting to disintegrate now as it's taken off the back by the French number 8. And it is running into contact. The French keeping it in the middle, but just throwing bodies at the South African line, hoping to force a gap in said line. They now changing direction, running around, all sorts of players. Running back into traffic is the scrum off. The forwards picking and going, and again pick and go with a lot of momentum advantage to South Africa, and it's going to be scrum down right in front of the South African post, about 8 meters out from the line. Cheeky little handling error there from the French. South Africa need to slow down now and try to catch a breather. This front row is working hard.
Eliane. So it's Eliane. Eliane says Eliane. Okay, so Eliane, thank you. Yeah, it's amazing defensive attack here by the Springboks. We saw this in all of the past few years where the Springboks just seem to swamp and just trying to dominate their opposition. Even when the opposition have the ball in hand, it's just unbelievable defensive attack by the Springboks, and let's see if they can convert this into points, because that was the problem against Ireland.
Fantastic scrum, solid scrum. It's moving now. The French have popped up. Advantage to South Africa, penalty advantage, and it is hoofed away by Faf de Klerk, and it will find touch, but not enough advantage given to South Africa. So it is going to be a penalty right back where we had that scrum about 7-8 meters out from the South African line. Billy Leroux is asking for the ball. And as we await the decision, Oh, there's a
now Wayne Barnes says no, he's going to have a look at television screen now.
For
Hmm.
Not sure why.
Oh no, now he's abandoned that.
He was asking for a ball.
Well, he made the sign. Yeah. So 5 minutes to go in the first half. Faf de Klerk sends the ball sailing through the air in Marseille to the near side touchline. And that's going to be a line out to South Africa. We see some replays here of the scrum. And then, that was a 50-50 call there by the referee. Went South Africa's way. And we will say thank you. And it will be a line out on the halfway line.
With the throw in played in the air was the South African lock, as Faf de Klerk now going to recycle the ball, and it's straight to Marks, who rumbles forward, supported well by his front row partners. Faf de Klerk shaping for a kick. He hoofs this into the Marseille air, and it's up, and there's going to be, he's called the mark. Called the mark into the 22. Mark called by the French player, and it's going to be a free kick, which is hoofed down the field. And it's a quick throw from Willemse to Billy Leroux with a very flat pass, which is booted by Willemse, and the French return the favor and just hoof it back downfield, back into the South Africa 22. Billy Leroux now running at this French line, passing a bit early, 10 with a player 10 meters away from him to Arendse for a quick ball to Faf de Klerk, and hands shown by the South African forwards. Faf de Klerk again looking for quick ball. He recycles. Willemse put it, dummies a kick, and runs cross field looking for support, but finding none. Jesse Kriel now getting his hands on the ball and rumbling forward. Faf de Klerk shaping again for the box kick. He does just that. Hoofs this one into the air, into the French 22. Challenged in the air, but mark is called by Hinkama. Fantastic play. 2.5 minutes to go in this first half. Tomac clears his line and hoops this one all the way down. Faf de Klerk again, quick ball, not giving the French any respite to Billy Leroux, to Willemse, who puts it to his boot and kicks it straight to a French player who has to clean up with his boot. Doesn't go to hand. This one kicked over the South African defenders at the back. Billy Leroux deep inside his 22, running it from inside his 22 to Damien Dalende on the wing. There was no arms in that tackle, Mr. Referee. Came in shoulder first, nailing Damien Dalende while he was in a good step. Coming in shoulder first to his knocking in touch. So it will be a throw in to France just outside the South African 22. Oof! It was off. Oh, in the air. There was arms.
Yeah, good cover tackle, but it looked dodgy. But in the end, good cover tackle there by France, and they have the ball. They have possession here in the line out, and it's just inside the 10-meter line of the Springboks on the near side of the field.
French throw. Go! Wow! That's a great move. I've never seen that before. The French, the throw was deep, and the jumpers walked all the way back about 15-20 meters before lifting the receiver into the air, just moving the attacking line of the French about 15-20 meters infield as the ball is coming now, being recycled very quickly from the French midfield now. South Africans trying to contest the ball on the ground, and it's a penalty for the South African player not rolling away. Right in front of the post, about 25 meters out, 15 meters out. And
just inside.
6 points to send the points difference back to 6. However, we'd just like to point out that a similar position. There was a play earlier on where it was on his feet.
Yeah, just got on the wrong side there. Richard Gofodichwe and Che going over the ball there, but the referee not happy. And it's a penalty to France. France lead 13 points to 10. There's times up in the first half. And that was a silly mistake there by South Africa. They were absolutely swamping the French in defense. The French players being tackled behind the gain line. So Thomas Ramos for France to make it 16 points to 10 at halftime. He strikes it. It sails through the air, and it's going to be another 3 points to France. So it's 16 points to 10 at halftime. Oh my goodness, I haven't even queued up something for halftime. Anis.
Yeah, no.
We've got to talk about this, man. What's going on here?
Look, I think South Africa just struggled to get out to the starting blocks. Number one, the penalty at the end. Sorry, Watson Chair wasn't penalised. It was Franco Mostert. He was having a shocker of a game, just being trapped and being unable to roll away, which was a bit harsh since he was pinned by another French player. Seeing it with green tinted glasses, I am. The Springboks just couldn't get out of the starting blocks, but they started to play rugby at about the 26th minute mark, and they were all over the French like a bad rash. The French played, showing us some innovative moves. The human centipede at the breakdown, and that last lineup where, as I said, they moved 15, 20 meters infield. It was a deep throw, and it was and they managed to regain possession because their jumpers all walked back 15, 20 meters before receiving it. That's an interesting move, something that I think most of world rugby will try to copy, along with the human centipede. That is a fantastic move, to be honest. And just too many silly mistakes, so many handling errors.
I think the Springboks are looking like a little bit more of an attacking force in this game. They're trying to make the moves from their set piece, so that's a good sign. The midweek game, I was very unimpressed. It looked very much one-dimensional. I do like it when they use the ball on the advantage calls. I think that was good from the Springboks so far. When you have the advantage, when the referee says advantage, then you try the fancy stuff. So I like that. So we'll see if the Springboks can make up the 6-point deficit in Marseille, and we will stop pretending that we understand French or can speak French, and we will listen to what happened to the Proteas while we wait for the start of the second half. Anis, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, just the French have played out of their socks, and they are running at a 14-man South African wall at the moment, and there will be gaps. South Africa just need to stay composed. I'm just really worried about the role Willie le Roux and Damian Willemse are playing. Willie le Roux so far has been first receiver for 90% of the ball from the breakdown, which is, it makes no sense why your fullback should be in first receiver every time. If that's the case, then Damian Willemse should have started fullback, and you could have brought in Manuel Bokke. I'm looking forward to what will happen in the second half with those backline replacements coming on. Kobus Reinach will inject some more pace into this.
And now thinking about it, there must be something wrong with Damian Willemse because he's not kicking for goals. So is that a confidence thing? Is that like, I mean, it's a high pressure situation to kick for goals for your country. Is there maybe something wrong with his knee or his leg or his hips or something? Or is he just not? Is there something between the ears? But he looks calm and collected on the field. He doesn't look. I mean, that's the role he's been playing for the Stormers forever.
Exactly.
so that's very interesting to see that Cheslin Colby taking the kicks and doing a good job. Let's say that. I mean, thank you very much for the points there, Cheslin. So that try by Kulisi, the kicks by Cheslin Colby, that's invaluable. 5 points now from the boot, and 5 points from the captain, and 6 points trailing at halftime. It's still a bit of a puzzle. I mean, if you're looking from the outside in onto the Springbok side, it's like, what is going on? What are these guys talking about? Zelda says the human centipede. Love it. Kom bokkies. Nog 40 minute speeltyd. Praat bietjie met die span. Kom nou bokke. Hou die bal in hand. Hou op balbesit wegskop. So she's asking for less kicking. And it's starting to become more clear in my mind that either the Boks have no plan or they've got a brilliant plan and they're just saving it up for next year.
I think
because
that might be... I've been saying it. Like, we can't be playing like this now to give people a false sense of security. But there are a couple of moves that are being worked on that it's going to be not as good as, not as innovative as the human centipede. That's going to be the best thing I've seen in rugby all year. It's getting a prize.
Okay, well, we've got a few minutes to go to the second half, and I'm just going to open this one of our podcasts, the Full Quota podcast on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. If you are watching us anywhere else, go to our YouTube channel, follow us, make sure you switch on the notifications and then see when we go live. And we do appreciate your support. So I'm going to open this one. I'm just going to scoot it along because Tim and Mpo had a very nice take on what went wrong with the Proteas at the World Cup. And we will see you back for the second half for France versus South Africa. Thank you so much for listening.
Ciao for now.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Full Quota podcast. Is Paul Mukrani, and I've got Tim Delace with me to talk all things happening in South African cricket. Obviously, we'll talk about the Cricket World Cup, but we are a South African cricket podcast, and remember, you can let your friends know. Please do subscribe to our One World Sports Radio channel. We also have an audio podcast on Anchor, as well as Anchor Podcast, as well as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So please do go check us out there. We also have a Patreon account. If you want to just drop in some cash, go check it out at Patreon.
Pakistan got too much.
A couple of days, and we're told to come back to the hotel on Saturday at 12 in the afternoon. There was no team meeting even then. And then when they came back into the hotel, the team list was put on the main team board, probably on the corridor there, to be like, you're playing. And guys woke up and they just were playing. That's how what it looked like. It looked like nobody actually communicated anything, And it was interesting because the person who actually bowled well yesterday was Anand Nokia. He hit his lines very well. So it kind of also tells me that there was a team meeting. Somebody listened, and the others necessarily didn't. But that's how it looked like, and all of these things just lead to not even the team's ability. It's that extra level above the team where it's coach, captain, selectors, and that staff. It's a lack of preparation.
The other thing I didn't understand is they were 130 for 4. I think 130 for 4 with 2 overs to go. I think they scored 30 in this last.
No, they were 115, and they scored 31 or something, or 120. And they scored 31 in the last.
That's right, 120. That's right. So then you go to Rabada for your penultimate over. He's had a bad day. You've got Ackerman on strike. Ackerman is just sort of getting in, sort of run a ball, sort of score at the moment. You don't have a mid-on, a deep mid-on, a deep mid-off, or a third man. So there's no deep mid-on, no deep mid-off, no third man. You've got 3 on the leg side. In front of square, behind square, and square leg. 3 for the hook shot. His 6 balls were all full, and there wasn't a single short ball in those 6 balls.
Yeah.
They either went over Midoff's head, or they went over third man for 6.
Yeah. And
please tell me what that was. It makes no sense to me at all. Make no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's my and like I don't like it was just to a certain extent, Tim, it was a mess. It was completely a mess. And so now here's the thing, right? The moment Netherlands went big and started going big, but you have them 113 and you're like, okay, I need to go to my strike bowler. This is the moment my strike bowler breaks the game for me. He did not. And we need to have a conversation about that. We need to have a conversation about Kagiso Rabada and his inability to be able to break the game for this team open. I love Kagiso a lot, but I honestly do think that maybe we did not make... And everyone was talking about, no, drop the captain. Guys, there were other people in this team that needed to be... And I know it's hard, like, and for me, that's the problem about cricket. And to a certain extent, for sport. You will give your better players longer rope to hang themselves. And when you look back, you're like, I actually should have dropped them a lot earlier. Kagiso in the Pakistan game and the India game wasn't great. Even in the Zimbabwe game, it wasn't great. And there came a time where maybe it was for us to hide him in the middle overs. Because I remember in Pakistan, we didn't even know where to hide him. We couldn't hide him. Every time he came on, 16 runs, 12 runs. It was just like, we're like, oh, okay, we're just leaking boundaries off this. And you're like, and with Kagiso, I get it, you just need one good ball. And some balls were really great, and he got cut. Like there was one ball that was a Yorker length in the second over of the match, Yorker length outside the off stump. And I'm assuming it's Myberg. It's literally picked that up like it was a half volley and went over Point's head. And I was like, okay, that was good, but unlucky. And to a certain extent, that was it. And so for me, that's what it was. And when you're playing minnows like that, you need to make plays. And that game, our bowlers didn't make plays. But 158 is respectable. It's a gettable target with a batting lineup that you have. Let's go to the other side of the ball. My word. I don't even know where to start. But Quinny and Temba, they started off quite well, okay-ish, little tentative for my liking, but I kind of got that when you're playing teams like Netherlands and stuff, like they don't, outside of Brandon Glover, they don't have like express pace. So it's unlike you're facing Lungi, KG, and Anna, 130s all the time. You're gonna get guys who are gonna be giving you tricks and slow balls and everything else. And I think South Africa just missed the trick there. And it felt all mental to me because I was like, you guys are trying a little bit too much and you put yourselves in a hole. And because I was like, okay, Temba, yes. Like all the runner balls, the runner ball 20, Temba, the runner ball 12, Quinton.
Hello.
Welcome back.
There we go.
Of South Africa, France, from Stade Velodrome in Marseille. I am David Midgley. Alongside me is Oz Master Simon. And South Africa trailed by 6 points at the halfway stage. Also, what have you made of it?
Yeah, a bit more enterprising play, a bit more variety in play by the Springboks, which was encouraging to see. And that's why they're only 6 points behind. It was amazing defense by the Springboks in the first half. I thought they had some really good dominant defensive plays. That's been the stuff that won us the World Cup. And so the Springboks will kick off from right to left on our screens. Here in Marseille, well, there in Marseille, and we are here in South Africa, and we are bringing you live digital audio commentary and doing it for fun and loving it. And it's Damian Willemse with the ball in hand. And there's a very nice crowd there in the stadium in Marseille. And that's going to be awesome to see what the Springboks can do here. Anis is going to join us soon. Coach Dave is here with me. 16 points to 10. Okay, Coach, what's your prediction for the end?
3 points for the Boks.
Okay. Boks by 6 for me. Springboks taking the ruck into the French 22, cleared by Dupont. And that will be a throw into the Springboks, a line out to the Springboks, just about on the middle of the park there, just on the halfway line. And now there's some animated discussions amongst the backline. I really like the fact that the backline of the Springboks are actually featuring in this game. It's always nice to see when the ball comes into the backline's hands, especially the turnover ball, that it goes wide, that it gets used. And once again, here, Cheslin Kolbe over the halfway line, bumps off one tackle, falls into the second one. Got support there from his forwards. The French trying to steal the ball. Bongi Mbonambi is there. Paf de Klerk with a box kick to the far side, coming down just outside the French 22. Tackled there by the Springboks, mauling over the ball. And the French are penalized there for something that the referee didn't like. That was absolute defensive domination once again by the Springboks. That's what you want. That's what the doctor ordered. That is the Siya Kolisi Springbok team in action. It's just that Stormers' defensive attack. Absolutely wonderful.
It was just a great bit of work there from Cheslin Kolbe off the back there, bouncing off a flanker and said, "Sit down, son. This is not just your French territory, it's mine as well." Massive tackle from Siya Kolisi on the man who's now playing at wing, Makolo, and we see our own Makozola Mapimpi on screen. I'm excited for his involvement in this game. 3 points on offer here for the Springboks.
Perestef de Toy, absolutely distraught. That was a bad call, I think, by the referees. He just went in to clean out and got a red card. So that's that. And now, Cheslin Kolbe.
The nature of head contact in rugby, that's also the problem.
Yeah, that's
head on head. Was just go reds.
Oof, but that close to the ground, man. Come on. I mean, that's what your locks do. Eliane says she's watching from Port Elizabeth. Zelda says she's in Kiwiland. Boks go hard, and they are trying to go hard. Cheslin Kolbe sends this one through the sky, beautifully through the poles. Where is this man's kicking boot been? Cheslin Kolbe, he's never kicked for a team that I've seen him play for.
Yeah, he's a couple of kicks for Toulouse and Toulon, but not as many as we've seen here in the green and gold.
So, Mr. Mohammed is with us. Kickoff by the French to the far side of the park. It's a ruck set up by the Springboks. And Paf de Klerk at the back there. Siya Kolisi says, no, your centipede's not going to be that long. And Paf de Klerk sends it into the sky. It's going to go over the far side touchline. It's going to be a line out to the French. Paf de Klerk tried to milk a penalty there as the French defense came through on him. But, that Australian acting skills not impressing the referees in Marseille tonight. It's it looks like a bit of a damp field here. I don't see a lot of problems with handling the ball as the French make the line out work for them. They go into the maul setup and they've got a penalty advantage now inside the Springbok 22, 5 meters from the far side touchline. The ball pops up at the back, picked up by Kolisi, but the referee calls them back for the penalty, as that was illegal sacking of the maul by the Boks on the far side touchline on the 22-meter line of the Springboks. Who's supposed to be on?
No, it's you and I. Anis is just hanging out with us.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Okay, cool. So
He's
16 points to 13. Yeah, 5 minutes to go in the 5 minutes gone in the second half, excuse me. And France lead 16 points to 13 after that kick by Cheslin Kolbe. We do apologize. We know our scorecard is a bit slow. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, you can comment as well. You are the third commentator here, the fourth one in this case. And so now there's a bit of a break in play. There's some, so Ramos once again will line up for France to take it to a 19 to 13 point lead for the French, stretching it back out to 6 points. He's dead-eyed Dick. He nails this one again through the posts. Go France. And it's 19 points to 13. 6 points the lead now for France in Marseille with 34 minutes to go in the second half. 6 minutes played. And this is going to be a tight one. Boks by 6 still on for me. Springboks kicking off from right to left to the far side they go. There is Etzebeth trying to smash the French there, but the human centipede now getting to a ridiculous length here for Dupont, who kicks it to the far side of the park, out on the full. And the referees are happy with that. So that will be a Springbok line out on their own 10-meter line. 19 points to 13.
Nico van der Merwe says, I'm hoping that this game is one of those where they surprise us with the best second half ever.
Yes.
To that point, though, half of the French bench...
From your lips to God's ears, man.
So the last half an hour of this game is going to be crucial. Throw in now.
Springbok setting them all up 5 meters from the far side touchline, rumbling it over the halfway line. Little bit disjointed is the maul now by the Springbok. Use it once, says the referee, and Faf de Klerk sends the box kick sailing into the air 20 meters from the far side touchline on the 10-meter line. There's a scramble for the ball, but the French have it. No, says the referee. And it's a quick tap by Faf de Klerk. He's over the 22. He's got support there. Sia Kolisi swinging the ball into Damian Dalende in the midfield. Willie Leroux into the line. A bit isolated. Where's the support? It's there. It's just in front of the posts. Faf de Klerk pops one over the top for Kurtley Arendse, for Cheslin Kolbe, excuse me. And he lands on his head, and that's going to be a stop in play, and somebody in the French team is going to be in trouble. That was just opportunistic play, front foot ball play by the Springboks that we haven't seen for a very long time.
Yeah.
And if that is the way they're going to play, long may it continue, because we have an injury now to Cheslin Kolbe, but that was just absolutely champagne rugby by the Springboks in France.
Right. There's two things that should be looked at here. The first one is Cheslin Kolbe's taken out in the air, landed on his head, which is a massive concern. That's the same red card that Kurtley Arendse got during Rugby Championship. I want to point that out. Number one. Number two, there was clearly a high tackle on Willie Leroux there, and I'm surprised that they haven't done it. It's the French are down to 15 men. Another red card. It was reckless, and now there's 14 apiece, and this game is now even. Good to see Cheslin Kolbe up on his.
Yeah, red card dished out by Wayne Barnes. I mean, Cheslin Kolbe just landed flat on his head. No attempt by the French player to get anywhere near the ball. So Ja, Drika, rooi kaart vir hulle. Ja, Drika, is a red card for them as well. Red card him too, says Elian. Yesy, thanks you guys for commenting and for listening to us there on Facebook and on YouTube. You can comment and you can be the extra commentator. We do appreciate it. So 19 points to 13, red cards both ways, and the player of the year, Dupont
captain,
is
French
off.
Captain.
The French captain, the French scrum half, is off the field, and that's a big blow. We lost a flank, they lost scrum half. So that's going to be a difficult one for France to cope with. They're going to have to bring on their replacement scrum half, and then somebody else is going to have to go off the field. Peter Steff is a big player for us as well, but he's a flanker. So, they're a dime a dozen. You can just pop another guy in there at the side of the scrum. And it's Makazole Mapimpi now on the field in place of the red card, I would assume, after 20 minutes. And this is sanity prevails. So the red card puts the player off the field for 20 minutes and then the player can be replaced. So that's a good rule, I think. So now it is 15 versus 14 as Eben Etzebeth takes the ball at the front of the lineup. The Springboks set the maul. Now the backline players coming in there. The referee is not happy. He's got somebody coming in from the side into that maul. He's saying that's a penalty to the Springboks. 15 meters from the far side touchline, 5 meters from the French try line. 19 points to 13 with 32 minutes to go in this match. Paf de Klerk has the ball in his hands. Is he going to kick to the touchline? Is he going to tap and go? Yeah, says the referee, you go. He's not used to that role, so he kicks the ball over the far side touchline, and it will be a 5-meter line out to the Springboks. This is going to be a nail biter. There's 30 minutes to go. So,
Elian Valente.
Nog aan die bokke. Elian.
Ja, nou gaan die bokke uithaal
en wys. Ja.
En van der Linde.
And they do that with the maul. Over the 5-meter line, they go rumbling with the penalty advantage. Faf de Klerk is scrambling for the ball. There's a Frenchman obviously interfering. There's another tap down by the French, and the ball is dotted down by Franco Mostert. Is that going to be a try to South Africa? No, says the referee. They'll come back for the penalty on the 5-meter line. The French now are being Australian in their tactics, trying to just avert the inevitable because the Springboks have got the fire in their eyes. Nobody's going to keep them away from that try line. Willie Leroux says, boys, just go. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing okay. Just keep, rinse and repeat. Just go. Because the Springboks are absolutely rampant at the moment. Steven Kitsoff is on the field. The bomb squad is on. And it's Vincent Koch taking over now in the front row. And that's going to be a very difficult task for the French to stop the inevitable as another line out for the Springboks. Let's see what they do with this one. It goes to the front. It goes to Eben Etzebeth. The maul is set. The French try to shepherd the Springboks to the try line, to the touch line on the far side, but it's Steven Kitsoff who bursts away. Malcolm Marx has the ball now on the ground. Steven Kitsoff is already up and taking another run at the French as the ball goes through the middle now. Vincent Koch up the guts of the French. And to the far side, they go now to the short side. Kurt Arendse dots it down in the far side corner. Kurt Arendse has a try for the Springboks. What a try.
Because he seems like he might be in touch here.
Yeah, it's tight.
Well, seems to have stood. Great bit of work there from the Springboks. Great interplay and finishing of world-class standards from Kurtley.
That's a try. That's a try. That's a try. He was never close to the touchline before he jotted that down. That's a try. Hy's 'n blou bal. My maat, hy's 'n blou bal. Daar's hy. Vat so.
Driekke van der Linde sê nou moet Bokke speel soos nog nooit tevore.
Right, Faf de Klerk on the far side touchline. Right on that touchline.
Oh, fuck.
No more than a school ruler's length away from the sideline. He slots it through the poles. It goes, and the Boks, for the first time in this game, are leading 52 minutes on the clock. Boy, oh boy, is this a stressful game. 1 point in it, and this is where the game will change, gentlemen, because remember, the French emptied their bench quite early on in this game. Only 3 people left in their bench. The South Africans still have Marvin Uri, Dion Fourie, Kobus Ranoch, and Mani Libok, who's yet to make a debut. There's a change now for the French, and we'll see who goes off and comes on. But this next 20 minutes to half an hour are going to be crucial for the Springboks. Just a bit of tape work there from the medic on Malcolm Marx. Kickoff imminent here for Ntamak. High hanging ball, far side of the park. Catch now for Kwagga Smith, much better under the ball. The high ball as he rumbles up to halfway. Faf de Klerk marshalling things there with some support from Kitshoff, pointing out that we don't have as long of a human centipede. High hanging kick here from the back, and it'll go out into touch. Another attempt at a trap and play from Ramos, but that'll go straight out.
Nadine Bosch, the start of the slow choke of the Roosters. Nice. And Gert, Johannes van Zyl. Mooi bokke. Nou is julle warm.
Language, please. There's more ladies on the group. But what language? We're global too. Right. 20 points to 19 is where South Africa is, and we haven't been offensive, but it's okay. Nevertheless,
I deleted a comment.
Okay, good. I was going to say we're pretty clean here. Right, out the back goes the French hooker, who's seemed to have taken up the scrum half position. Nevertheless, the replacement is on the park, and it's Luku who's having to do a lot of work here. South Africa smashing the French cockerels here. Back towards halfway line. Son, this is not your house. This is now my penalty advantage. Etzebeth at the back. Hands it off to Marks. To Kitshoff. Kitshoff with a bit of a break over halfway line. The Springboks rumbling forward. Marching forward here. De Klerk to Kitshoff. To rather Kwagga Smith, who was smashed there. Koch over the halfway line. Etzebeth getting some momentum there. Chipped over the top, and there's no one to chase that one, so it'll fall freely there for France. Good tackle there on Jalong from the South African right wing, who is Kurtley Arendse with Mapimpi on the left. And Wayne Barnes says, all right, everybody, take a deep breath. We'll come back for the penalty advantage.
Arendse out of position there. Just
he's having to switch from left to right to accommodate the legend Makazola Mapimpi.
Oh, this is nice now.
Drama. This is drama.
Oh. You still in it for 2 points? But why not?
Pelokazi Impeketu. Mooi bokke. Ja.
Nice.
There we go. Drika ook. Mooi.
It's just a break.
Dit is ons bokke. Wys hulle. Ja, show them. En regard. Le Bok.
So, the South Africans.
Bok hulle op. Says Elrich April. I like that one. Oh. Thick and fast now, guys.
Beautiful. Thank you to all of you. Please hit the like button, subscribe on YouTube, ding the bell, and if you'd like to support us at Patreon on Patreon, patreon.com/OneWorldSR. You want to be part of the commentary team, admin at 1WSR.com. I'm Dave Midgley. Alongside me is Otto, the Ozmaster Simon, and Anis Mohammed. Faf de Klerk was taking some time there to get sorted in front of the posts. A long way out. Can he send it over? He does, and the Springboks stretch their lead here. 56 minutes gone at Stade Velodrome in Marseille, home of Olympique Marseille, but it's seemingly the home of South African rugby as they turn this game around. They were well behind going into the halftime break, 16 points to 10, but this game is going the way of green at the moment. They will receive from this kickoff from Ntamak. He sends it down into the South African 22, and immediately Kwagga Smith is smashed by Anthony Gelok. Right, Mostert setting up with his own version of the French centipede. De Klerk setting up for a box kick. Who's going to be chasing? He doesn't. He sends it to the pocket, and Willemse thumps it away out into touch. It doesn't go very far, slicing off the boot of South Africa's fly half. Oof. And he's not having the best go of it today. But nevertheless, South Africa lead by 4 points. 56 and a half minutes gone. It's 23 points for South Africa and 19 for the French. Boys, could this be, and I don't want to jinx it yet, could this be the duck being broken, so to speak, in terms of French victories?
Oh, with 20 minutes to go. So, there's the move again.
Marchand, to the back of the line out it goes. Rolling more from the French. Marchand's trying to get a hand on it, but it's the South Africans with Antonio who manages to hold things up. Penalty advantage now. Going through the hands, but rush defense from the Springbok puts Ntamak under pressure. He's got support from Mofena. Right, now with Fiku in some space. Gael Fiku runs out of room there in the end. Ball going through the hands out wide. South Africa having to defend valiantly here. Can they keep the French out? This is hard work for the men in blue because it's centers that are the ones who are having to do the hard work at ruck and tackle time. Fifth phase now going into number 6 for the French. In front of the South African poles, 22 meters out. And eventually the referee blows his whistle and says, well, we'll go back for it as Maxime Luku is told, hold on, fella. Let's go back to where we were. Penalty for France.
Where are we now?
Oh, that's breathless rugby here. France going for posts. It's really a very exciting second half here. The Springboks with that absolutely pulverizing defense. The French are struggling to get into their stride here because they're just getting smashed. Every time a person in blue touches the ball, they just get smashed. It's beautiful to watch.
We've got Zelda saying, go Human Centipede, go BOKKE. Playing a hard and tough game. They're doing pretty well. My favorite Mapimpi coming up. Yeah, way to go. Proud BOKKE. Leonard, since ons het die wenbrood nodig, go BOKKE. Zelda says, Yahoo! Mooi man faf. And then Chandre Pluitjies
right.
says, take him off yellow near yo.
Right, that brings France within 1 point from that Ramos penalty. This is a close game, gentlemen, as Dion Fourie makes his way on the park and the French return their replacements, front rows, to the game. Remember, they came off briefly because of the HIA to Antonio, and Kobus Reinach makes his way on the park to replace Faf de Klerk, as Dion Fourie will replace, like I said, Kwagga Smith. Kickoff now from the Springboks, deep into French territory, and immediately Kurtley Arendse is on the flanker, Olivon, like ants at a picnic, really. That's probably the best way that I could describe it. But it's being held up here for Luku. Where is he going to go? Is he going to go into the pocket? No, he immediately thumps it out. And as we cross the hour mark, that's a shocking kick. It's gone all of 5 meters.
Hooked it.
No, that's pressure. That's what pressure does to you. And that's the pressure in defense by the Springboks. It's the way they're playing tonight without the ball that's been really impressive. They just need to convert that into points as they've done so far. That's why South Africa lead 23 points to 22, and there's 20 minutes to go. It's a tough test match, but South Africa really with the bit between their teeth now.
Right, and he's for the next 10, please.
Siakolisi coming off the back of that line out. Willemse finally getting a run of the ball, and he's jinking and dancing through the middle. Reinach now to who's that? Steven Kitsoff, sorry. Skipping Billy Leroux, who is coming in at pace. So Damien Galende, Billy Leroux now, first receiver. They are running down the tram. South Africa 5 out and being taken around the neck, but They keep going, keep rumbling. 4 meters out now. Reinach to Billy Leroux to Damien Delende. Going wide. Straight to Arendse, who is bashing his way over, but just being shepherded into touch. Oh, South Africa 5 meters out with the line out to come. French in position of that line out. The referee is running across the field. Has he seen a penalty? No. Line out stands.
No, the Springboks stretching the French now from side to side. It was a beautiful pass by Kobus Reinach that set up that defense or that move there, and Kurtley Arendse at the end there getting smashed by the cover defense of France, who are now back in position.
Short line out from France, and oh my goodness, they're running up the field. I think a South African defender was taken out. Nothing going, and finally the penalty is called. Penalty for South Africa against France for not releasing at a breakdown. Sorry, it was a bit. Who's going to be kicking? Billy Leroux. Willemse. Faf is off. Willemse will be.
Damien Willemse.
Type stuff. Well, there's nobody left on the field.
Yeah.
No, and it was the number 21, the replacement flank. It was tackled by Kurtley Arendse and then got up and ran. And the referee said, no, you've got to put the ball down and pick it up. You were tackled. The tackle was completed. And so it's a penalty to South Africa. That was a good breakout move there by the French, but thwarted by that technical penalty by referee Wayne Barnes.
The French did have the advantage of Kobus Reinach being taken out by a player, a French player, without the ball while he was trying to defend. So they did have that advantage with the half gap, which gave him the room to run through. Willemse now lining up.
Damien Willemse
of the touch of the uprights, just inside the French, outside the French 10-meter line, and he hoofs this one, and it's looking good. Got the distance, got the direction.
Yes.
South Africa get themselves into a 4-point lead now. The French will have to score a try or get 2 penalties in the next 16 minutes if they hope to win this game. Restart now by France.
Chandray Plaki said, Kobo BOKKE Fatum Davi.
And this one is just inside the South African 22. And well collected by the South Africans. Kobus Reinach marshalling his troops. Telling Steve Kittel to just make his centipede known, and he launches this one straight up in the air, not much distance, coming down with ice on it. Arendse, fantastic take in the air to see a Khaleesi, but they have managed to stop the run. So South Africa have space now on the outside. Cross kick for Billy Leroux.
Oh!
Just not get his hands to it. Just manages to get fingertips. Can't hold on to it, and it's a knock on. A fantastic take in the air there by Kurtley Arendse.
It was all set up by that as well. Great bit of interplay. Skip pass and a cross kick there. And if Mapimpi had caught it,
just a half a step forward, and Mapimpi would have been
gone. He was taking it at
pace. Gone. That was a beautiful move there by the Boks. I love this. I like this. Do it again. Carpe.
France's bench should be empty now. They've got no one else to bring on.
I think Jalibert is. I haven't seen him on yet. Or have they just brought him on?
Oh, they lost their best player. They've got their best player red carded. We've got one of our best players red carded as well. So that's 15 against 15, but not the team that the coaches would have wanted on the field.
Oh, scrum is a bit messy and the front rows go down. And they will reset, referee giving them some leeway since it seems as if both teams are going with 7-man packs now.
I don't think this French team is going to stand up to Koch and
Kitshoff
and this is going to be murder now by the
Get
Springboks
in the flank there. Come on, he got a penalty the last time he was there. Get the center going.
Yeah, we've got 7-man scrum Springboks against 8-man French scrum. French put in.
As the French get the ball quickly, and are now running through midfield. Half gap there. And South Africa are a counter-ruck from South Africa, which is spoiled by the French centipede. Waiting for possession, slowing down possession, so allowing South Africa to regroup as France are now in the middle of the field trying to get something going. Pick and goes from the French. Drops this one into the pocket, and it's gone up high into the Marseille sky. Willemse underneath this one. Oh, good hands to Curtly Arendse. South Africa have possession. Kobus Reinach now to... Was that Steve Etzebeth, the first receiver? Kobus Reinach drops this one up high for the box kick. Chased by Arendse. Fantastic cover tackle. French player is isolated. And it's a penalty to France. This not rolling away. Oh, that was no clear release from the tackler.
Oh, merde, putain.
Yeah. The French looked isolated. However, South Africa judged no tackle release and not rolling away. The French
tackler not rolling away.
Yeah, Faftekleck having a word with the spare official there. Not quite sure what the conversation would be about.
Oh, it's on. Okay, Curtly Arendse was the one that was penalized. The lineout will be just well inside the South African 22. Attacking lineup for France now. They were going to go walkies and go long. No, they're not. They're shuffling and dancing around. But now they formed the maul and formed it quickly. And they're going at pace, mauling very, very well. However, penalty advantage to France. France, the maul still going. It is now stopped and brought down. Dropping into the pocket. Cross kick from France to the far corner. And it is out. And if they will come back for the penalty, overcooked that one, just went over the dead ball line. Billy Leroux just nudged it over in the air. And it's going to be a yellow card against number 2. Oh!
Yeah, it's Dion Fourie, number 20 for the Springboks, the replacement loose forward. And that's pretty much his game.
So
Elena Valentes saying that we should stop the box kicking, run the ball.
They're just using it to
that's
get
a difficult call. Yeah. It's been working quite well for the box. But, yeah, I mean, if you're not going to kick the box kick into a box, then, you're just giving the ball away. You're just taking possession away. And now, once again, France have really got a very good field position, and they've got front foot ball all of a sudden.
Messy throw there from France. Regathered by South Africa. The French center coming in way from the side. And this one is hoofed by Kobus Reinach. No advantage, no penalty called by the referee.
He's playing leapfrog with the guy. He's playing leapfrog with him there, and then you're saying to me, no penalty, no.
Oh, that's interesting. An interesting call. Otto, will you take us home?
Yeah, this is turning into a bit of a bizarre match now with the decisions going all over the show here. 26 points to 22. South Africa lead. 9 minutes to go.
The debutant
and
is Marvin Ori.
Yeah, Marvin Ori coming on for Siya Kolisi, which is also bizarre. But I guess that's because the Peter Steph du Toit red card might have changed the plans a bit.
And Dion Fourie yellow.
Yeah, Dion Fourie also yellow. So it's a line out now, grabbed by the French just outside the Springbok 22, 20 meters from the far side touchline. France swing it to the middle of the park now. Once again, ferocious defense by the Springboks. France go to the far side, to the short side. There's a bit of an overlap here for France as their replacement flanker goes running up to the 5 meter line. Another rush forward by France, but stopped on the 5 meter line. This time the Springboks are a little bit in 6s and 7s here, and it's a penalty advantage to France, and the referee says no. Springboks not rolling away from the tackle. Fewer French players. The Springboks trying to isolate the French attackers and not really getting the job done properly there at that time. There's 7.5 minutes to go. It's 26 points to 22. France will kick to the far side of the park, and it will be a line out to the French, 5 meters from the Springbok try line.
They just need to weather
6 minutes, 7 minutes to go. And the Springboks lead by 4 points. France all of a sudden getting the upper hand. It's a proper ding-dong test match here in Marseille, or there in Marseille. And now the French not setting up the maul. They go to the back. The number 11 into the line, held up by the Springboks 2 meters out. The French are pouring forward, but the defensive lines are set by the Springboks. Pick and go by the French. Short. The ball is available for the French players. The Springboks just keeping things tight there, and the referee awarding the try.
It's 3
awarding
moves.
At first the penalty advantage to the French, and now a try awarded to the French on the far side of the park. And it's going to be an easy conversion here, relatively easy conversion. It's about halfway between the posts and the far side touchline. So it's 27 points to France and 26 to the Springboks. 6 minutes to go. This is going to be insane. If the Springboks can come back and clinch this one, because the French have just wrestled the initiative away from the Springboks. In the last 10 minutes, it looked like the Springboks were just going to walk all over France, but the French just refused and just came back into this game. It's unbelievable. This is a really entertaining test match. And if you're listening to us, thank you very much. But if you have a chance, look at the highlights of this game, because it's going to be, it's electric. It's absolutely awesome. This is a proper test match.
Oh, that was, just looking at the replay, there was definitely at least a double movement in order to place the ball. Because you can still reach to place the ball, but they move twice. So, yeah, that's an interesting call, tight call again.
I think there's a delay here because of that.
Yeah.
They need to
Wayne Barnes is checking. And now the people who run the graphics for the scorecard have got a red card and a yellow card for South Africa. So I wonder if we get another yellow card, what are they going to do? How are they going to fit that in?
I don't know.
So why would... Okay, oh yeah, they're probably on a warning.
The problem is, there's not much time left. There's 5 minutes left in this game. This could be a decisive moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And France on the front foot. In the last 5 or 6 minutes or so, they just wrestled away at the momentum, the impetus from South Africa. So that's
I
We're seeing no try here, says Dion Potgieter. And we're waiting for the visuals to catch up here. And now we have a nice shot of Wayne Barnes' crotch.
Yeah, because
unwanted.
he manhandles
I'm feeling triggered now. I'm actually. I was actually now assaulted sexually by Wayne Barnes. So let's put it out there. Let's see. What did they say?
No, I think it'll be a try.
Yeah, the try stands, and the conversion will be taken by Thomas Ramos of Ramon, shall we say? Steps forward, kicks it with the right foot, and he shanks it to the left. It's 1 point in Marseille. It's 4.5 minutes to go. There's 1 point in it. It's 27-26.
2 points.
I might, if the Boks get a penalty here, I'm on for my 2-point victory.
Yeah, Skepskop. Just get into the 22 and fucking drop kick it. Come on, Mani Libbok kicking off for the Springboks. Shortish kickoff to the middle of the park. The Springboks try to regather, but France have it in the middle of the park. And now the Springboks trying to keep it up, but the referee sees that's a tackle. Knees on the ground. French centipede forming. The referee is definitely going to have to shut this down because it's taking way too long for the ball to get to the back. Come on, ref, do your job. No. And it's a kick over the top there from the centipede. And Willie Leroux has it in the middle of the park for the Springboks, crossing his own 10-meter line. Sends it wide to the far side to Damien Willemse. Steps inside. Bumps off one. On the halfway line. No, says the referee. Forward pass. Forward pass, says the referee. It's a scrum to France. On the 10-meter line of the Springboks.
Wow.
And that's that must have been an assistant referee call. That's Woes, says Willie Leroux. He's not impressed. It's very Woes.
In this game.
Yeah. And now Sia Kolisi is also getting animated on the replacement bench. The Springboks just need to keep their cool here. They just need to keep their cool here. This is how you beat the Springboks. You get under their skin and you make them angry, you make them agitated, and then they lose their focus. This has to be calm heads now by the Springboks. They need to just focus. Just focus on the game at hand. And now Wayne Barnes is injecting himself into the game once again. No, he's not happy with the replacement. There's somebody running off and running on for the French. Already applauding. That's fine. The French lead by 1 point, 27-26. There's 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go.
See Rassi there sitting in the dugout.
Rassi will come on at left back.
Rassi will join the back.
So it's a scrum to France. And they have the ball inside the Springbok half. The French bench players also looking nervous. And Damien Dalende is there at flank. Because the Springboks have got no players left. It's a solid scrum by France. The Springboks wheeling it to an advantage to France, and it's a penalty to France on the 10-meter line of the Springboks. That's a scrum penalty to France, and 2.5 minutes to go. The French lead by 1 point in Marseille, 27 points to 26, with a kick to come, and this is really going to be a godsend for the French team if they manage to kick this ball over, because that was a very strange penalty by the referee.
Felly does not understand that penalty at all.
Yeah, it's feeling sorry for Peter Steff, the toy there, and Dupont sitting on the sidelines, nothing to do. 2 minutes to go. 1 point the difference, and Thomas Rameau will line up another kick for France to see if he can make it a 4-point game and force the Springboks to score a try to win it. And he's done very well so far. He's only missed that one kick, that previous kick. He kicks this one, and it sails to the left of the uprights. No, it's through. It's through the middle. The flags go up. France, 30 points. The Springboks, 26. And there's about 70 seconds to go. The Springboks kick it off. They try to regather in the middle of the park, just inside the 10-meter line of France. Springboks have the ball. Kobus Reinach sends it to the middle. Lebok into the hands of De Allende. Out to... Who's that there? Mapimpi. He's got support. His knees are on the ground. It's a tackle now. Release, says the referee. Kobus Reinach has got possession, but the French have managed to get it. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They stole it out of the hands of Kobus Reinach. Somehow the referee thought that was okay. And now the French are coming through in their own, into their own 10-meter line, over their own 10-meter line. Now the French go. It's at the back of the ruck there. 20 seconds to go. And they set another ruck up behind the advantage line, but they don't care. They just need to keep possession here, France, for 20 seconds, for 10 seconds. The Springboks might have stolen this ball. The referee says, let it go. And the French have it. The French have possession. And the clock will run out now. The ball will go back to the fly half, and it will be kicked into the stands. And the French have gotten out of jail. Absolutely gotten out of jail. The last 15 minutes have been all France. But let's just say the first 20-25 minutes of that second half was BOKKE all the way. The French just held out. You've got to doff your cap, tip your hat. Well played, France. They escaped. They escaped from jail.
They survived. You don't beat the Boks, you survive the Boks. And so for Ireland and France, survived. The Boks came out playing amazingly high-paced rugby. French ran over the gas a bit early, but then managed to find a second win. Just some bizarre calls. Again, we don't like to say it's a conspiracy, and we don't want to just blame officials and worry about that, but some bizarre calls there near the end, gentlemen.
Well, you've got to take the ref out of the game. That's the long and short of it. You can't complain about the officials because, there you go. And Agath O'Callaghan says, yes, French supporter there. Merci beaucoup, partout, à tout le monde. Merci.
So if you want to follow us, go like us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, at OneWorldSR. You can also go to YouTube, subscribe, ding the bell so that you know when we're going live. Yes, we are bringing you the midweek game, Bristol Bears, South Africa A. Can South Africa A turn over that L that they picked up against Munster? They can also have an opportunity to put their names down for the Springbok games in the future. South Africa play Italy next weekend, so a little bit of a respite for them in terms of performance, but never underestimate the underdogs. And that will be from, I want to say, Genoa. It will be from Genoa, where South Africa will play the Italians. But we'll bring you that game live. We will also be having many podcasts. And please, if you want to support us, patreon.com/OneWorldSR. I have been David Midgley. Alongside me for this incredible test match has been Onis Mohammed and Otto Simon. Tweet us. Our Twitter handles are down there underneath our names if you want to share your thoughts with us. Thank you so much to all of our Facebook fans. Thank you. Merci. And
wonderful.
Thank you to you. We look forward to seeing you next week with us as we bring you, Wednesday. Don't forget Wednesday. Bristol Bears, South Africa A, and then Saturday for the Italy game from Genoa. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please support, like, and subscribe. All the good things. Thank you guys so much. Good night.
Ciao, ciao.
À bientôt. À bientôt.
Đây.